actually need.
Ah, right.
It was like, I
That's
just tapped
true.
into this amazing.
So you have to know that actually. Rehan has been starting this project with $100 per month assistant. So you have a full-time assistant, virtual assistant, for $100 per month.
I'm telling you, these the men that have been, it's all men. One woman reached out, one Pakistani woman, but the thing that I know about Pakistan and Asia and stuff like that is that it's a really strong what you call it, like programming and development online community, right? Like people there for a long time have been we've been outsourcing, and the globe has been outsourcing to Pakistan for a long time for tech support. So that there's a lot of people, there's like a lot of really quality people coming in, that this is it's almost like their culture now, right?
Yeah, actually they're really good in tech. They're like very good in tech. The problem is that they don't have international platforms. Amazon is not here. Google is not here. PayPal is not here. So practically you
I
have
like that.
Yeah, in a way, yes, but they cannot be paid from outside the country, you know? And that's a
Really?
very big, yeah. That's why they're starting this platform, because you cannot use PayPal. Like, how are you going to pay them? Like direct transfer, yeah, sure, but from bank to bank, I don't, yeah, you know, like it's not so easy.
That's going to get flagged.
Exactly.
Let's cover overpaying Pakistan.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I didn't even think about that. So the platform that he's created, I can pay people through. You know what though? Actually, I've been using Fiverr and stuff a lot lately. I'm designing my own little tiny house here. I got the plans done for $32 on Fiverr.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
the
but
guys in like Sri Lanka or Pakistan.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a full-time job. The way Arslan is working with me, the same thing. Like full-time, 6 days per week, 8 hours per day, for $100 per month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I got some really exciting stuff that's happening I want to share with you. Should we start the interview now? Because it's kind of like it could go into the interview.
Yeah. You can start.
Okay. So since I did some channeling, I've been learning how to channel my higher self, which has been really exciting. It's interesting to get like the lowdown on yourself telling yourself what to do. It's been this like really interesting
what do you mean?
Practice. Like the channeling that comes out is like my higher self telling me what the fuck to do.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, I'm reading it, I'm like, you're kidding me. But I mean, some of the stuff that's coming out, like I didn't actually know. Like it's not really my brain consciously thinking this stuff. It's really my like
channeling, right?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. But one of them is like to work with Christopher more on this Open Institute and really focus on it. And so I ended up Christopher's been looking for a long time for a strong marketing professional. And he's been telling me, somehow the other day we had a conversation and I ended up being it. And this is about a week and a half ago. And the reason I want to do it is because I want to build out Open Institute. And so if Intermedia, his main company, is getting more sales, then he's got more money to spend on building out Open Institute. And I want to be getting people to adopt the software so we can build it.
So for that, actually, did you talk to Niels at all?
Yeah.
Did he tell you like that we are planning to channel everybody who's going to be joining the initiation in Christoph's platform? So they're all initiatives, but we need to structure it, right? So there's a schedule of the day, but then everybody can create the profile there. So it's gonna like automatically have so many initiatives already there, and it's a very good start for you. It's a very good start for Christoph. It's a very good start for us. You know, it's like win-win-win.
Yeah, that's what I feel like with all of these people. And then World of Wisdom wants to start their own. Now, do you want your own community? And then you can have your separate projects, because I'm having Christopher today set up World of Wisdom, their own community. Like New Utopia I have my own community, and then you guys are a project under it. I feel like maybe you should have a community which is the
I
Conscious
think
Gems community.
I think we should have a community, and you have to find a way to have all these communities linked to your profile also.
Yeah.
So be the mother community, but everyone has their own thing also.
Well, that's how it's set up right now. Like everyone's falling under New Utopia. It actually helps to keep it this, let's keep it this way for right now. And then revisit it in like a couple weeks and see if that's working best, or
okay. Yeah.
There's just so much work that needs to be done. But what's happening now, it's so nice because now I'm on the inside. And so I'm creating tickets and stuff like that. But okay, so the most important thing that I want to talk to you about on this that's so exciting is the gift economy is coming through. Because
I was sure about that. Finally.
Well, Christopher's been paying his staff for over a year on the point system. Mm-hmm. And the point system is the seeds for this gift economy. Right now, the only, it's like accounting. There's like the bank, it's a journal transaction. Right now, the only thing that you can pay the points out with is money. But what happens when we have other capitals coming in? And those points can be kept in a bank and we can start trading points for other capitals. So I have 3 people that work for me right now or work with me like on my team. And so they're all getting signed up directly with Intermedia as basically employees or associates, or I don't know what we want to call it, to be on the point system. So I'm doing all the marketing this way. So I'm creating I have a retainer every month, and my job is to create the tasks. So come up with like the PR and the marketing plan. I put it into tasks. Those tasks get weighted with points. And then as my 3 people pick off the task, they get those points in their bank. And some of the tasks that they split with like a developer, like working on the website or something like that. But say one day one person's got a lot of stuff doing in their other projects and they don't get to anything. Well, another person can come in there and do these tasks. They're very simple, and it's a lot of copywriting. And the best part about all of this is that it's all about building community. So Christopher on his, and this is in the tech world, which is like, for me, I'm like cracking up. I'm like, I never thought I'd be in tech. And it's super awesome. So the EM Institute platform, that is the framework for the Open Institute platform. He's building out on his website a community for all the people using his software, because it's open source software. And so this is like partners, people using the different plugins, the integrations. So we're making a community for each one of those. And so our job right now is to use that page, to make that page something that's being adopted. And so we're getting to develop online community, or help build and grow this online community for Christopher as a sales tool.
That's awesome, actually. Yeah,
I know, I'm so excited. So everything that I'm working on
and it's like so related to what we're trying to do, right?
Exactly.
It's our marketing tool, but it's the way that we want things to evolve also, at the same time.
Yeah, it's cool because it's I almost don't want to call it marketing. It's more like brand adoption.
It's not really marketing. It's creating awareness about who we are, what we do, and whoever resonates, right? Kind of.
Exactly. And I love my conversation with, I actually wrote a blog post about it. I've been writing these blog posts and I didn't even know I had this writing, this voice inside me. So it's been getting really exciting.
You're tapping into your Archie part. Beautiful.
Oh my God, it's so good. Tom and I were talking the other day about the linguistics behind building and growing when you talk about community. And it's just been something that's just been on my mind and on my mind. And so we start talking about community with this client, and I'm realizing what are we doing? Are we building it? Are we growing? And it's the masculine, the feminine,
Yeah.
The buildings, the growing, and the
and the thing is, in our team, we're still, even although we have women, we're still super masculine. Even the women, we are super masculine. Actually, the women, we're more masculine than the guys. No, but that's fine, because we will be able to understand the other part, actually getting in touch with their feminine, and we need to start getting in touch with the feminine, if they are already in touch with their feminine, what is happening to us, you know what I mean?
Oh my God. Here though, there's the good news, bad news thing that I've been wanting to tell you about, is that the good news is this place that I moved into, this is the feminine growing that's working in me
Nice.
right now, is
Mm-hmm.
I moved onto this land and I got this cute little like mud shack, which I freaking love. And we've been fixing it up with the family and stuff here. And they came to me last week, the youngest son, and he goes, I'm out of work right now. They grow trees up in the mountains for
Oh,
wood,
okay.
like they have a finca up there too. And he's like, we have a ton of wood right now, and we have the space over here. We just don't have any money, and it's like COVID, and I'm not working because he works for the government at the national park here. And he's like, would you want to partner up with us to build a house here on the land with all this wood we've got? And they know that I do design work. I've shown them some of my stuff on my computer. And I was
Show
like,
me some of yours. I haven't seen your work. You know that, right?
oh, newutopia.net is like
Wait.
the work. See, here's the thing is that I haven't touched that website in 5 years because I was leaving it up to drag for clients in Los Angeles. It's a market where I'm not really interested in, but it pays well. So I didn't really touch it too much to add the natural building and the permaculture and all the stuff that I'm really into. So with this new transition over the last couple of months, I've really started to update. Here you go. I've started to update the front page to include like more of the community building, property activation, that kind of stuff. But if you go up in our portfolio, I don't really have any portfolio pieces.
Oh,
But,
you did the Thank You Plant Medicine in Hona.
yeah, it was so amazing. Look at there's Paul Stamens.
Is this David like with the camera? No, he's not with the camera.
David's
right?
over on the left-hand side. There's Joe Tufor. There's John was my contact. David's right. He's on the left-hand side in the white shirt.
Nice group.
Laura Dawn's in
I
there.
saw
I mean,
David, yeah.
it was such an all-star cast. It was amazing. And
We
it
have
was
to
right
check
around
how many of them resonate like with Conscious Gems. I have already talked to David and I was like, dude, how many times do I have to ask you before you finally join us? He's like, okay, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, good. Now
well,
listen.
David did say this. David said that if we get funded, like on New Utopia's side, this was before I met you, that he would be willing to come over and work with us for marketing instead of doing the jobs that he's doing. So that's super exciting.
I love the website, by the way.
Thank you. But if you go up into projects, you can see the old stuff I used to do in Los Angeles. And so then I added the HANA project to this, which is like more about property activation. And now I've got in Costa Rica, my friend Tish I'm still going to build out that page, but it's just kind of like a little blurb about it.
Really beautiful, yeah.
Tish Steenkamp, a really good friend of mine, just took over a piece of property on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica to build a conscious community. And so that's another one. And as soon as you get the Conscious Gems pitch deck and stuff all put together, I was going to send it to her as well to maybe, this one was like the last project I did in LA.
Also, for me to not forget, on Friday, I think you should have the invitation somewhere. We're going to be doing a check about how we can remotely check about locations, like energetically check, and be able to tap into the space and see with the quantum resonator what the space needs to get activated. So we have like a remote system of checking, and a friend has been working on that. Yeah, it's super interesting, and the machine is like, the device is super interesting. So he's gonna do a check for the France, so we can come up with the intention, and he can give us like answers. It's super cool. So
oh my God, that sounds amazing.
If you don't have it, I'll send you, but you should have it. Like, I think it's on Friday 1st.
Okay.
It's like with Philip Eiselman, and it's called, it's weird.
I'm sorry, I'm getting bombarded with stuff.
Quantum resonate, quantum location checking. You should have it in your email, the notification, I guess. Yeah, you should.
Guess there's so much exciting stuff going on. But okay, so back to this land. I move onto the land. They come to me and they ask me if I want to build a house with them. And at first I was like, man, all my money's tied up in that Costa Rica project. I gotta like settle that thing out or whatever. And And I was like, I don't know, guys, maybe I'll put the project together and we'll put the design and we'll look for someone that wants to come in and upfront pay for a couple of years lease to fund the project. And the next morning I woke up and I had my stimulus check in my bank account, which is like exactly what they wanted to build, like how much they wanted. And I signed intermedia, so now I have a salary every month. And I got a huge check from Etsy because we've been selling a ton of fabric lately for like some random reason, right?
Wow.
And I was like, hey guys, let's do this, you know?
Of course. I mean, what else, right? The confirmation. It's like, here.
Oh yeah.
There you got it. What else do you need? Just ask.
Totally. So like in here, you know, like this is all my old building big $1 million custom homes. So I'm going
They're beautiful though.
Thank you.
I really like them. They're very sleek and like, yeah, I really like them.
I still have a little bit of this aesthetic to me, but it's I'm really focused on natural building and natural techniques. Like we're gonna do this house all out of wood, but I'm gonna do some work with this barake that it's on the wall here.
But I love when it's like this mix of the wabi sabi, you know, like it's like it's raw, what you can be raw, but you still have like clean surfaces, nice metals, you know.
Well, it's funny, you know, they use this corrugated metal roof. They call it lamina here. And I love the look of that when it gets all patinaed and it's got like and I want to use that like in my shower, right? And the guys just laugh at me because they can't figure out like why. Here I'm gonna add like I have some more team members I'm about ready to add to the project. And then this is my new I have the brother here that I've been building the garden with. He's got a really strong background in natural building, and I have his portfolio written. I just got to get a good picture of him one day, but he's always like in his grubbies. And then my 3 team members.
I like the opening line of Kathleen. She has said the past 20 plus years cultivating the art of a perfectly balanced career. Wow.
She's amazing. She's like a powerhouse in LA, and I've always kept her on there. She's just a doll. Like I can't say enough amazing things about her, but like I think that she's going to be a great resource coming up soon here to tap into people in LA that want
seems like it, right?
You know,
yeah.
I just need to get on the phone with her and catch up. Really, if you go into the blog, I just wrote this new blog about community, which was really. And then I have another one about the unintentional community that I'm creating here. Because like,
it's a nice picture. Oh, I'm missing Costa Rica's beaches. There is nobody, like these beautiful tropical beaches. Gosh.
Oh, it's so nice. That's right out in front of the project in Costa Rica. But this idea of unintentional community, like my friend Derek, he's up in the mountains behind my project in Costa Rica, and when everything shut down with COVID, the owner of the land that he's working on had some like fruitarian friends that ended up just taking over one of these old abandoned houses and moved right in, and they've been there this whole time. And then he's got all these workies out there and all stuff. So it's like become this unintentional community. And what's happening here is that we already have 5 houses on the property. And it's been my friend Christopher that's been renting here for 2 years and putting in all his friends. And then his mom bought the property next door. And then now I'm building another house. And then there's like a couple more lots to build some other little tiny houses. So like this budding unintentional community is happening here. And we're all really close, you know, and it's like, I'm going to move. It's
also very interesting actually when it's organic.
Yeah. So and then that was more about the feminine, right? So like I moved in and I just started cleaning up and working with the family and creating relationships, and like it's really becoming this community here unintentionally.
That's really nice. So, I mean, the thing with the over design is always the same. Like all cities that have been over designed, they failed, right? Like Brasilia, like Le Corbusier, because we need the organic also. So I think that's the interesting part. How do we dance between intention but not over design?
Well,
because over design kills the thing.
Exactly. And you were really clear on that the other day, where you were just like, I watched you hold a strong feminine one when we were talking about like getting too far into the details or something. You're like, look, everything's just coming in, just let it come in, it will happen, you know. I was like, oh yeah, it has been happening just quite perfectly. So
Yeah, I need to remind myself also, to not step into like overdoing details, because then you really ruin the thing. Like literally, we have to trust the process also. And I'm happy because Marco is very concrete like in that. He does action, but he understands when we have to stop. So that's why, like, also for the 4 capitals, let's try what is coming now. So as you're trying with the 2 guys, because we will get insights and we will be able to build upon it. It's not there yet, but it's fine. It will come. It's coming. It's coming.
yeah,
So that's enough for now.
yeah, definitely. So the back end of that's the good news, is I'm building my own house, but the back end is I don't think I'll be able to come to France because I'll be building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but doesn't mean I'm not still like totally on the team and working with you guys and everything. I'll just be remote during that process.
No, really?
I'd like to be documenting it and sending it out still, and like getting it out through the channels and like really.
You cannot start after September, the building?
No, well, the reason we're doing this now is to create revenue for the locals. So we're doing you can see it on the on the Open Institute, is that we're doing a lot for the community right now. And the biggest thing is the economy stopped. And these projects, like I've been doing a lot of work with my Boho Trader brand, which is where I take used clothing and upcycle it with used Guatemalan textiles. But I'm doing that so I can create more work for the women that sew here. Building this house is going to give a bunch of guys in town jobs. So it's really important to be working on the economy in my local community right now for me. And I meditated about a long time before I made a decision, but yeah, I've been dancing around Guatemala for a long time, and I keep leaving. I went to LA, I went to Costa Rica, and this is where I want to be. And this is my opportunity to build my own piece, like a place that's mine, and be here long term, But once that's all built, and then I'll be able to hop onto the next project, and like I'll have a home base here. So I feel solid in the world and can go travel around. And honestly, like I had this amazing astrologer read my life like a few months ago, and she said that at 42 I start my harvest, and that's in 2 years. That like all this work, like because I've like built it and lost it so many times, and
Funnily enough, I also have a landmark that has always been in my mind for the 35. That's like I'm getting 32, so it's like in 3 years. And it has always been also a landmark, and it's also like my chart. There is something big happening there. Everybody has been saying that I have always been 35 in my life.
That's a good age. Up. Yeah, and then also that with this like the cosecha, the harvest, is a lot of travel. And it said like I think it was 42, 62 is the harvest, and I can't remember if it was like in that 42 or 62, but it's like a ton of travel, which totally fits into this community building thing. Like,
of course. I feel the same actually. That's like, I feel that I'm not going to be the one who will be stay long-term in France. I will be the one who's going to be start building the rest of them, and like going around, and like kind of setting up the space, creating the community, making the people that resonate, and then move on to the next one for some time, because I have had my 3 years of strong base in Switzerland. So right now I'm filled with that, like it's not a need anymore. I feel like super stable. So I don't need that right now. So it's always like that, right? Like you have to
create. On the opposite. Like I just had the 7 months at Hana, and I can't tell you, I don't want to leave the house. I just want to be by myself. I mean, constantly, like I would have 10, 15 people like coming at me all day long. And I mean, I even had a nice organizational chart where like the workflow was like not having to answer up to me and stuff like that. But you have every guest, every person that comes through the door, all the employees, like,
it's not possible.
Oh my God. And I keep going, like, is there something wrong with me? Like, I feel like I'm agoraphobic, like I don't want to leave that.
No, there are times, like when when I was going like my very deep transformation in Switzerland, I didn't even want to travel, like that. I love traveling, right? I was like, there's just too much happening. I don't need external references. It's just already too much happening inside here.
That's where I'm at right now. Like, I need to fill up on this place. Like, I don't feel like it's time to leave. The other day we were doing that visioning with Marco, and like, he was like talking about envisioning the project, and I was getting like anxiety thinking about being around a whole bunch of people again, living with them and stuff. And I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. And that's why like my vision was like a bunch of tiny little huts out.
No, but the good thing is like that the place is so huge. It's like 4 hectares for land and 4 hectares for permaculture. And so it's like huge. And also we are setting that the team at least will have their own room. So they're not going to be sharing a room, because you need a break. Like, because you're going to be like doing the whole organization, the whole thing, you need a break. You need to not see anybody, to not talk to anybody, you know, like you need this time. I definitely need that. So we also like, it's sort of super nice because Mark also separated the room like for love room. I love that. I was like, yes, that's beautiful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I understand. It would be a pity not to have you there, but I totally understand. And I mean, the first one, you know, that is for our idea is actually to find ways to create this prototype that can be placed in local communities to actually reinforce them, right? With permaculture, permaculture trials. So like they can just take the project and copy it in their local communities, and it can spread and it can really support them, because that's the most important right now. So I totally feel the need. It's like the same line of need of supporting local communities, right? So yeah,
I have so many people where I feel like my value right now is all these projects. Like I'm starting to pull in, which why I'm so excited for Open Institute to grow, because it's a place where I could at least just keep everybody organized for myself.
Yeah.
A guy yesterday, Seth, who's building a community in Costa Rica, and he was divinely guided to get down there and build this community. And he's lived in a bunch of different ones to try it out. And it's not going to be like a hippie crunchy one. It's like a real solid place to raise a family. And he's only got like 20, like room for 20 homes, and he's doing it all with sacred geometry, and he doesn't even need a market. He says anytime people find out about it, like they're signing, like, where do I sign up? And he's like, I'm not ready yet. Like, it's not done yet. Like, but there's just so many of these amazing projects that are happening. I know I could probably name off 20 communities in the Costa Rica area that I had that HANA project. And HANA is becoming the hub for all of them, which is a really beautiful thing. Remember when you were talking about having like the business center? Like there's these different types of ones. Like that's what HANA I think is, but it's not in a major metropolitan area. It's actually just in like the hub of
Funnily enough, this idea started like before the whole Corona thing, or like these 3 types of places, right? But the thing is like that I'm seeing that actually the co-living and the business are merging.
The what?
So like the co-living and the business are merging. So they can be actually the same place, you know? We also, because we don't need to start separating like where I live and where I work, because it has to be like so pleasant what I'm doing that I don't need like a break out of it, right? It's like, it's part of my life, it's part of my evolution. So it's very funny because they have started like really merging, and they have also started merging with initiation a bit, because we're looking at here like if they can do business in spiritual places, to start like merging also that field, you know, like I think this is shifting, and it's not like set in stone. It's just that some of them will be more business, and that will be the last step, so like the step of the fire. But we are not there yet, you know, like we need to pass the whole process to be able to create businesses that really come from the heart and from clean mindset and from real community. We're still not there, you know.
Well, of all I tried on it, like I felt like when I got into HANA, it was ready to open, and so I had to hit the ground running, and I didn't really have like the marketing or the branding stuff put together right away. And I tried on all these different outfits. I said, you know, like I tried these things on the building and on the land, and one of them I did was the co-working, co-living, and we tried it out for a while. It could have worked. It just needed more time to get adopted. But that land in specifically, and especially Dominical, which I'm still very interested in creating a regenerative community of Dominical, was super powerful land. And it's right there on the south side of where the river meets the ocean. And when the Mamos came out from the Koji tribe, from the Sierra Nevadas in Colombia, they astral project around the world on where these key energetic points are. And one of them was right out front. And they went out and did a blessing there and everything. So it's
which were the other ones? Do they have a grid? They put it down?
They do. And what's really interesting, and if I had the time and the money, they're doing on June 4th through 14th, I think, in Costa Rica, they're doing a training on how to activate land with with the Mamos. Like, that's going to be an amazing.
Can you send me these? Let's get into contact with them, because we can create a collaboration. We're gonna need activation, and we can set up a collaboration there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the activation is very important, and also for the people and for the land to really create a tabula rasa, right? Like a clean sheet, so you can write upon it.
Yeah, I feel like I should sign up to it, and like if I'm supposed to go, the money will flow in and the time will open up.
Yeah, but let's talk to them anyhow, because it would be interesting to connect and see if they are interested in collaboration anyhow, because we will need for the next spaces, Yeah. It's not like anyhow we will need. So
one of the other places they found really powerful was the home farm, and that's one of the ones I've been talking to you about in Costa Rica that would be a potential to come online.
Home farm. Did you send me that?
No, there's not much to send you. I can send you the Facebook page, but Home Farm is Heaven on Mother Earth farm in the it's deep in the Diamante Valley, and it's top of the Baru Falls. It's got I want to say like 10 cabins. I have I do have info on the Home Farm.
Send me. Yeah, it would be interesting to see, to start feeling how it feels, because it feels that like every agreement has a different space, right? Like, so let's see how it goes.
There's a piece of it too where it's like really asking the land what she wants. And we worked on it last year, a team of us, to try to figure out the best way to activate the home farm and what that was going to look like, and whether it be like a retreat center where people come sporadically, or they stay there long term, or there's a mix of both, and how we would want to like responsibly and sustainably develop more of the land there and put it on more permanent residences and stuff like that. The owner is an amazing person who's just really interested in being a good steward of the land.
Nice.
And having the best. So it really fits the criteria for the conscious gems. But what we
there's for sure something happening in Costa Rica. I just feel that it might be more towards either the detoxing part, or the personal practice, not so much in the global village for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, it already has the global village going on, because basically what's happening in Costa Rica is there's so many individual communities coming together and popping up and growing right now, and they all create kind of more of a macro community, especially in the southern zone where I was at. So that's the bottom half of the country, which is a lot more it doesn't get dry. The northern half of Costa Rica has a really severe dry season where all the water dries up and stuff like that, but the southern zone you have fresh natural spring water, and like as opposed to like places like Mexico and even Guatemala, the water is super clean. Like even the tap water and everything, they chlorinate it, but like everyone just drinks the water.
Yeah, which is very important actually, because that's the first step that I'm also exploring right now. Like the first step is food and stomach, and like cleanliness in the body, like the physical body. So food, good water, exercise. So really starting from the basics, right? Starting from earth, right? Like this is our earth in the body. So I'm checking that. I'm doing like today 2 or 3 days water fasting, and I will start like tapping into how we can create healthy food here, like with the local ingredients, because the food is so tasty here, but it's very oily, it's very greasy, it has a lot of meat, and that keeps like the whole level of consciousness down, right? Of course, like, right? I mean, yesterday was the first day that I woke up with 6 hours of sleep and I was completely fine. And all the rest of the days, I have been struggling to wake up like with 8 hours of sleep, you know, like I wake up and I'm tired. And today was just like awesome. It really, it really changes your sleep cycles if you
How
don't eat
different is
meat.
the Pakistani food from Indian food? I don't really, I'm not familiar with it as a cuisine in itself.
It is similar but different, let's say. So it's more towards meat, not so much towards vegetarian. So not so many people are vegetarian. And in India, I mean, in India, it depends on the place as far as I know, but they're more towards being vegetarian, many communities. So it's very spicy, which apparently it's not the best because every spice is like negative pranic food, interestingly enough. And then yeah, it's very rich in taste, right? Like herbs and grace, and like it's rich. But
what kind of oils do they use?
So they use either like kind of butter that they make,
Ghee?
like from ghee, exactly, yeah. They either use ghee. I think they use mostly ghee, actually. I haven't, and they have oil like vegetable oil, but I don't think they're using it that much. Yeah, and they don't really have like olive oil. They don't use actually olive oil and things like that.
Well, yeah, I've studied a lot about Ayurveda, and ghee is super medicinal. Like the quality of your oil is so important. So
how is ghee made? Out of
it's
what?
clarified butter. So they cook it down to get all the milk fats off of it. So it's just the oil part of the butter. But yeah, it's used as medicine in a lot of
but the thing
prescriptions.
with all the food is like it's the quantity that makes it a medicine or a poison, right?
Yeah.
Like for everything.
Well, and then like, where's the, I mean, is it organic ghee? I mean, oils are so, they could be such medicine and they can be such poison.
Exactly. And the same with their tea, you know, like they overcook all their teas, even the green tea. So they just kill the tea. It's just a beverage. It's not the tea anymore. You don't have the good parts of the tea.
Oh, really?
You overcook it. They cook it.
Oh,
like
they
literally cook it. No, they cook it for a long time also to get like a lot of flavor. So it doesn't have the good materials of tea. I mean, tea, you have to really treat it very gently to get the good materials of it, right? Like the good features.
Yeah.
If you treat it very harsh, it dies.
I'm really interested to make these friends in Pakistan that I'm getting introduced to, because I want to know more about the culture. I know so much about Indian culture. I know nothing about Pakistan.
They are different. They are their own thing, you know, like because they have been so close as a community, they really don't have so much influence. They're like Pakistani, you know, like they have their own thing, their own culture. It's not similar to something else because they didn't have so much influence.
Wow.
It's interesting, yeah.
Where India got like colonized by the British and stuff like that, Pakistan never did, right?
Pakistan was colonized from the British, but they were sent to this place, the ones who were believing to be Muslims. So they were sent to Pakistan as an indication of like, here's the Hindus, here's the Muslims, and then we separated the two countries because they were together at some point, like until the 50s. Actually, they were together with India.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite serious. And then, but the interesting parts with them is that they are one of the really few nations that have seen that they are so hungry to learn. You can teach them anything, they just want to learn. And that's like impressive, you know, like they really, really want to learn because probably it has been missing from here, like new types of information and different types of information. That's why I'm doing all the interviews live, because for them, these that we are doing and we're talking about, it's a completely different world.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting to me right now is like I've had this whole flip about I never wanted to travel to a Muslim country because I just thought that was, you know, it's like I've been raised with the propaganda of the United States, or like, you know, been heavily influenced by it. And now I'm realizing how like wrong that probably is in itself. And
You know, I have been a little bit worried about traveling alone in a Muslim country, but I went to Jordan. I completely loved it. I had no issue whatsoever. It was like they were so like they have such a nice hospitality, the Muslims, for some reason. It's just like in their culture. So they will really host you as a queen or something. It's like super nice. It's rare. And mostly
It's
when you're like foreigner and they haven't had so many foreigners, it's just so nice, you know, like they're so kind, and everybody's inviting you in their home and to stay and to sleep, to eat, to do whatever you want and take you everywhere. Like, it's amazing.
the book that is it how do you say his name? Awa? What's the name? The Friend Me book. I read it the other day. And the thing that really stuck to me was like how important it is to make friends in all these other countries so you can get the real news. You know,
that's the what the Rehan has been doing. Like, he's
Rahan.
saying that everybody who wants, he offered them like free laptops that he buys for them to make like 500 mutual friends with him.
Yeah.
So they start having references.
Mm-hmm. No, it's so important. Like, having you there in Pakistan and talking to you all the time about it and stuff is like made me realize how much of my I have like a prejudice about Pakistan and Muslim and stuff like that is totally unfounded. It's only because I'm listening to what the media in the United States has portrayed, which I know is wrong. Like, I am really clear that this is all propaganda. And something, I was talking to someone the other day here, and I was saying how like I'm liking Trump these days and stuff. She's like, well, yeah, that's because you don't know what he's really doing. She's like, you only get American media, and like her, who knows what her spin is on it or anything like that, but her government or her propaganda, wherever she was from, is also spinning it how they need it to spin for their world domination or whatever it is. Like, everyone's got an agenda these days.
Of course.
But
in the end, like, we have to realize that everybody was asking like, how is it here in Pakistan? I'm like everywhere the same, right? If you treat people good, they will treat you good. If you treat people like shit, they will treat you like shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, why am I even surprised? But even myself, before coming here, I was like, oh my God, where am I going? You know? But I was going, like, I did it almost a little bit on purpose. It's like, no, break that down. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you afraid? You're afraid of what? What's going to be different, you know?
Well, I mean, and then like there's like the prejudice that I probably had about Pakistani men in general, and like they've been the kindest, dearest guys that have been reaching out to me to be friends on Facebook lately. Like, and the
So
ones
the
I've
funny
been working
part
with
is that we have a wrong idea about why the girls are covered. First of all, they started covering them for respect.
Yeah.
Because
they cherish
protection.
them.
For protection. Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah. And we have it completely different. It's like, oh my God. And the women are walking behind, not because they are like less, they're like a dog, but it's because the man is protecting them. Is going and is leading, and she's behind, like, to get protected. Interesting,
it's
right?
So crazy. Well, I mean, this is like cultural appropriatism, you know? It's like, how dare we and like enforce our Western ideals on, you know, we're reading their culture with our Western mindset instead of
exactly. The other day, I have started like waking up and just write my dreams, like as soon as I wake up, because I want to see if we can start lucid dreaming. Then I woke up the other day, I wrote something and I slept again, so I was not remembering what I wrote, right? And I went back and I looked at it, and I have written, don't try to deal with the human body the way that we deal in the West. And I was like, wow, okay, what does that even mean? I don't remember anymore what was a dream. But yeah, it's a different approach.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about all my new friends over there.
Rehan will be so happy. Talk to him.
Like right now I have a really slim budget to get this project done for Christopher, which is like, I want to get a ton of content out there. The idea is that we're going to create content for each of the community members and put it on their page to help like grow this community, right? And I have found between Fiverr and Rahan's friends, I've found a bunch of people that write technical content. Like I was going to do
Right,
interviews.
Rehan, because he really wants to kickstart this platform that I was telling you about, the $100 assistance. So talk to him about it, because he really wants to kickstart it. I think he has around 8,000 people that already applied for this platform from
What?
here.
Is it $100 a week or $100 a week?
Month.
A month?
Yeah.
I'll take one.
You can take 10, like it's like literally.
Oh my God. Well, here's my thing is like, I already have enough people I'm managing right now, but I would take one on as like a,
but you can take one, you can train him and then he can train the rest. That's the thing, because the whole thing is about for them to be trained also. That's why they're so cheap, because they don't know how to connect with foreigners. So it's going to be for them like really changing them from a raw material into a professional.
How, and I love mentoring people, but how is that okay payment over there? Like, well, do they live okay on
150 euros per month? It's a normal salary. Like when you have to go to work and come back and use like transportation and everything.
Well, I only need part-time. I can pay them 100 for part-time. I don't want to overwork them. I'm so overly cautious about overextending people or asking too much, or I want to provide opportunity without.
They also need to be trained. They need to be trained. That's the thing.
Yeah, I just don't ever want to exploit anyone. I mean, that's how it is here in Guatemala. Like, so many people come down here and do this type of stuff that I'm doing with like having them make things.
But you have to understand, like, because I was asking exactly the same questions. If they don't have this $100, they don't have anything.
Yeah, no, I
They're
get
really
it.
looking to have like a stable income, because for them it's like completely change of thing. But some people, they really don't do nothing. It's so for them it's like, and he just asked if anybody would be interested to work for this money. He didn't make it.
Yeah, they're signing up.
Yeah, they're just signing up. And
what's the website?
So I think it's $100 assistant. I don't know if they have put it up already, but talk to him anyhow.
Yeah, I want to connect with them more. We've just been texting back and forth, and he's just been really sweet. It's so funny. This company that I'm working in, it's called it's DAM software, Digital Asset Management. Nobody knows what it is. Like here, I was like, hey, I just want to run this by you. I just take it on this client, and like, do you have any words of wisdom? Basically, he's my new friend. So I'm like, he's like done really well in the tech sector. Like, what would you tell me? And he's like, what is that? Yeah. He's like, what's DAM? I'm like, I don't even know what it is, and like nobody really knows. Like I was talking to this Fiverr content writer in Pakistan yesterday, and I'm like, do you know what DAM is? He's like, no, don't know. I think the first articles are like, what is a DAM? Why do I need a DAM? Like I'm gonna have him research it and figure out what it is and talk.
Yeah, but totally. Like they have to learn also. That's the thing, to become really. So yeah, the group he joined in April 7. So how much is that? Like 10 days ago, right? No, 20 days ago. And it already, I cannot see how many people it has actually.
What's this? It's on a Facebook group?
Yeah, it's on Facebook for now. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
And I think they're setting up the website.
Oh, for 100.
It's incredible. And you can always pay them more if you want. So if you feel like paying them more, you can pay them more. It's not like only $100.
Well, I want to get this ticket point system worked out so that we can incorporate it into bringing in people like this, right? So the idea about this the system is that it's based on points. So if you are really efficient, you're going to get paid more than if you're learning, and of course you get paid less when you're learning, because you're learning and you're slower. Like it's really a neat concept, and I'm super excited to put this into a marketing context, because I mean, how much marketing is just tedious work of like creating content, making posts.
Yeah, no, it's writing. Like this. It takes so long.
If I could have an army, like I have my 3 people, I have 2 people in Vegas, 1 person in Costa Rica, and then get a few friends in Pakistan on this system. And we're all like, just the thing about tech software, what Christopher brought up, and I really believe this, is that when someone's analyzing whether they're going to use a software or a service or something like that, they're going to look at how many other people are using it and how much like activity there is on the website. And right now, like they haven't had anyone really tending to their social media or any of their blog posts or anything like that in years. And so it just kind of looks like a dead product, even though they're working their tail off just getting development done. There's nothing going out on the promotional front. So if we start flooding that and flooding it through community focused blog posts, I can only see, and this is the other thing is like SEO optimization. Google's gotten real smart with the algorithms. It's really just do it organically. Quit trying to like, you know, cheat the system somehow and like just get articles written that are linked well with other things. And it's like, it talks about the thing, you know, and just do an organic job of it and get an army of $100 virtual assistants moving on it, you know? It's like...
No, but totally. Yeah. That's the point. And they really get it. Imagine also for them how different it will be in their mentality to start working with this project. Like I already see like in Arslan, you know, like he's probably going to be joining us in France. Like, can you... How possible would that have been otherwise?
Love that.
You know?
I so love all this that's budding out of you know, side note, I sent out this request the other day because this week I'm going to go to the owner with all of my books and all the inventory and all the stuff that the branding and all the things that I've created for that Hana brand. And so I was asking last week for friends of the project to write reviews because I want to be able to show like, hey, the community loves it. It's doing well. Keep us on. You want to hire us back to be the management operations. And one of the friends that I sent it to, he's like, hey, he's like, if you're not going to be, you know, if it's shady that you're not going to, why don't we just buy the property? And I'm like, dude, I've been trying to sell the property the whole time. Like, that's what I'm doing here. So we could sell the property and get a new benevolent benefactor to own it. And he's like, I got 2 people in mind. Get me all the information over. So I talked to him last night. And so this week I'm making the pitch deck on the project. So there's a chance that I could even make a little commission here on this sale.
Awesome.
So, yeah, like it's all still in the play and still in the works. And so I'm working on this week, putting together, I've got all the numbers together now, and now I'm doing like the visual presentation. I mean, I'll send it to you when I'm done.
Awesome.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, I check also like to see how this will work from their side, because that will be like also the proposal for the whole concierge gems, right? Like you can have a part of the whole project, so you can practically like invest, and instead of having one space, you have space all around the world, and you can just like you have property.
I want to do like a real estate investment trust. That's what I've always like imagined is, and actually that's the project that I'm doing in Dominical. Is there's $10 million worth of property in Dominical for sale right now. And if you bought all of that, you would have all the commercial properties in your portfolio. So why not put it together as a real estate trust and have investors invest into that as like, so you're diversifying your assets because you're investing in all the property, and you have more of a, you know, as a board, as a trust, you have more of a drive and resources to put together things. Like we have a black water issue in the town, and like working together as this board to fix the cardinal problems of this community and like really make it a rad community. Dominical has the ability to be the next Abood Wali, like a real spiritual, conscious community. It's just going to take, and I have enough people on my mastermind group right now to do it. I just got really shut down and like stalled out by the COVID thing. Like I was on the path, man. We were doing this thing, but it was good. I mean, it's all perfect because what that did was that opened up my my field. So that's where I found you and these other projects that are coming online, and helped me see the bigger picture and get involved back again with Open Institute, and all this stuff wouldn't have happened if I was just here focused on HANA.
Yeah,
you know? So it was all super perfect. Right?
Yeah.
And the owner, when he took it back over, he went in and he started doing all the repairs that I haven't been able to get to. So even if I do get it back, everything's gonna be fixed. Like,
but that's exactly what we're gonna be doing like next week. We have prepared the deck. Tom is checking the language, and then we will go like deeper into the business model. So I would love your contribution there, because that's the idea, like for the fund, like investment into all the properties. So there are two types of investments, right? Into all the properties. So you have a part all around the world, which is also much more stable, because not all world can have a devaluation. That's impossible, right? Like, so it really makes sense for an investor of real estate in general.
Yeah.
And the second, investing in people. So investing in these 40 mines for the products that will come up during this period. So you get the equity of the whole of the project, you know?
Yeah,
So
well,
these are the two types.
the propco opco is what Tom keeps calling it, is like the property company, like the ownership of the property, and the operations company. And there's the ownership of the operations. So it's kind of like what you're saying too.
So have the thought on that, because we're going to be talking as soon as like Tom tells me that, okay, the language is nice, let's go deeper into the business model.
Yeah.
Count
me in on everything.
Of course. Yeah, that will be during this week at some point.
Perfect. I'm around.
Perfect. So I will have to go, because I have like the other call, but it was so beautiful actually to talk to you, you know?
I know. I love chatting with you, man. Oh, there's your new one.
Yeah, that's my next one.
Have a beautiful day. We'll talk soon. Wow.
Good to talk to you.